Welcome to Ready, Set, Real Estate, where we will help empower and educate you on many different aspects of real estate, finance, and investing. Each week, we will expand your knowledge and uncover hidden truths. We will break down real-world scenarios and study actual how-to strategies. Anyone can buy real estate, but together we'll ensure you make smart real estate investment decisions. Now, here's your host, award-winning author, international speaker, and real estate educator, Gillett.
I want to know who in the heck took my volume off. I need to rerun that again. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Ready, Set, Real Estate. Let me see what's happening here. There's all kinds of changes with social media right now. Okay, so I apparently get to stream. Okay, let me get. Okay, so I get to stream live on Instagram, and they've got a new view that I can see. So it's probably going to bother me. Hold on, let's see. Why can't I hear anything? I don't like what's happening. Hold on. Oh my gosh. You see what happens when you've been on the show or you've not been on the show for so long? The volume is getting all wonky. Yeah, I don't hear a thing. Might have to end this stream and do it again. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to it. Let me get back to what needs to happen here. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to the overlays. Oh, I know what happened. Got it. Mic check. How about that? Oh, yeah. That's what happened. That is what's happening. Cool. So just for giggles and stuff, I'm going to run that back just real quick. Okay.
Welcome to Ready, Set, Real Estate, where we will help empower and educate you on many different aspects of real estate, finance, and investing. Each week, we will expand your knowledge and uncover hidden truths. We will break down real-world scenarios and study actual how-to strategies. Anyone can buy real estate, but together we'll ensure you make smart real estate investment decisions. Now, here's your host, award-winning author, international speaker, and real estate educator, Gillett.
There we go. Now we're official. We've got the sound back. So apparently I plugged in my mic and the computer was feeding the sound through my microphone. Not cool. Say hi, say hello, drop a comment down below. I know things have, I put my head down for the last couple weeks, months, if you all know. I have been studying. I graduated law school last year. I took some months to prepare for the California bar. And proud to say that I sat for the bar last week. Woohoo! Took one for the culture. Happy that, as someone pointed out to me, shout out to Inga. She mentioned that, you sat for the bar during Black History Month, which we know is really all year round. But so that was pretty cool. That was a whole experience. I could go on and on just on the experience, and I won't use up today's showtime to talk about it, even though I feel like I have been off and on. It's going to take me some days to come off this like cloud 13 feeling of having had that experience. I'm super grateful to have the experience, and I will just share because you might be dying to know. So how'd you do? Well, I had a positive experience. I did. I didn't have any complaints. It was super cold in the arena. I sat at the USC Galen Center. Very, very cold. Aside from that, I had a positive experience, and I'm happy I did it. We'll know in a couple months officially what those results are. So stay tuned. I'll be talking more about that as we get closer to the time. But I bring that up because I put my head down and then I come out into the world and find out that we are now in a war. What happens? I can't leave you all alone. You can't be trusted. No, you can't be trusted. I go away for a couple months and I come back and we're now in war. Is this what happens when I leave? You thrust us into this geopolitical tension. And so here I am now talking about war. Ha! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Huh. War. Right? Jackie Chan did a good impression of that song. War. Oh, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. And so today I want to talk about that. Is it good? How is this going to affect us? So with that, today's show topic is exactly that. War, how does it affect mortgage rates? And as I was thinking about a show topic as for my return to the show, you will see me. And I know I've said that before. I'll see you next week. But I had to choose, y'all. I really had to choose. And it was about priority and making sure I was prepared for the bar exam. That was top shelf. And it didn't mean that I was not missing doing the show. In fact, yesterday or last week when I finished and I kind of was finding some normalcy in my life, I missed doing this. I really missed doing the show. I was sharing with a friend of mine who mentioned, live stream's not really a big thing again. Work during the pandemic, not so much now. And I agreed. So that means I'm feeling excited about bringing live events back. So live workshops and in-person events. So I'm excited to bring that back. And I now have the time to do that. I can fully return back to work. I can say I'm done with school. So that feels really great. So today's show is that although there was tons of other things that I wanted to talk about. So there's the FinCEN reporting that's affecting real estate transactions. What transactions will go into effect? So this is a new federal rule. In the legal arena, there's a lot of questions as to who it applies to. It's not really clear. It's a new rule. And the really cool thing about being part of a legal forum is that I get to see the legal side of things. And while I see there's a big push industry-wide to talk about the FinCEN rule reporting, it's really interesting that on the legal forums, they refer to it as the boogeyman, if you will, because it's still not clear of how this is, does it apply to grantors who are transferring properties to trusts? Is that considered a new entity or not? So I will bring more information about the FinCEN rule reporting. There's a couple of webinars that's happening both. What kind of cool thing, I now get to dabble on both sides of this business, which is cool. And before I'll come back to my disclaimer, but I'll finish this thought. So, which is really cool because I get to provide both perspectives of the real estate side and now the legal side. Who is that? Who's giving a shout out? Says, what's up, cuz? Blessings. It's been a minute since I see you. Absolutely. I've been studying. I finished school. I sat for the state bar. So I'm back. I am back. I'm here. So great for you to stop in and check in. Appreciate it. So with that being said, let's talk about, let me do disclaimers first, of course. You all know I'm going to do disclaimers and I want you to be like, right? All right. So disclaimers real quick. The information provided on this show should not be considered legal or tax advice. I'm not a licensed legal professional yet. I am a licensed real estate broker. So I have some experience that I can you do verbal vomit here on the show. So essentially, let me bring that up real quick for you again. So be sure to please seek legal and tax advice from reputable licensed professionals. Okay, that's what I want to say about that. Oh, Josie Mar, I don't know it says Jory Boy on your Facebook thing, but great. It's great hearing from you and seeing you online. Yeah. I reached out to you, I think a while back when you were talking to me about some properties, and then I didn't hear back, but it's cool. I'm glad I see you now and you see me. So cool. We've got some. I'm make sure I reach out to you once I get my bar results, because we're gonna turn up. I've been saying I want to do big bashment for this, because it's a huge milestone, huge thing to celebrate. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually I'm Belizean, so I'm first generation here, American, born here. But I like to I like to remind people that I was made there and born here. So in our country, we say "mek them banya." So a little joke, little cultural joke here. And I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish too. I'm bilingual, Spanish speaking as well. Wanted to add a third language. I just didn't have time. So I guess I used the time, instead of adding a third language. Well, I did add a third language. It's called legal jargon. Okay. So for those of you who are new to me, welcome. My name's Lisa Gillett, JD. Like I said, put some respect on it. That means I hold a Juris Doctor last year. As I shared, I finished law school. I've been in this industry this year will make it 2 decades. 2 decades. Some of you may know me as my moniker, Super Agent. I am broker owner of Devenio Estates, which is a boutique real estate firm going strong. I also hold designations and certifications and experience as a pricing strategy advisor, short sales and foreclosure certified. And my special area of real estate is working with the seniors community. So I also hold a seniors real estate specialist designation as well. And all that means is I continue to learn, gather the information, continue to educate myself so that I can share it with my clients so they can make informed decisions, since they may not buy and sell real estate every day. It is my job to bring my expertise and my continuing education as the industry requires to bring all this valuable, vast information in a way that you can consume it and digest it and apply it. Kabish? Gabish. You got it? Good. Okay, cool. All right, with that being said, I want to throw out here, let's talk about real quick, because we have started a new year. I know I haven't seen you since January. I think I did the December 2025 wrapped up show, and I just kind of wrapped up just to let you all know I was still here. I'm still breathing. And then I disappeared for a couple weeks because I knew what was priority for me, which was sitting and passing the bar exam. Results to come later. In any case, what I want to ask you is, what are your real estate goals? Are you still working on your credit? Credit is very forgiving. It is a snapshot of your financial situation at this time. So no need to worry about credit if you don't plan on borrowing money. No need to worry about it if you are not planning on borrowing money, namely home loans. If you plan on financing, then you should be doing some tax planning and credit building at least 3 years before you jump into that. Shout out to Goodridge over here on Instagram. Good seeing you. She says, good afternoon, my friend. Happy Wednesday. Request me on Facebook Messenger. Okay, cool. Happy late New Year. Yes, indeed. So good that you're over here on Instagram. I forgot I was streaming live on Instagram too. It's so tiny to see the shots. Let me see. Oh, okay, that's cool. See, all kind of cool things you learn with these new platforms. I don't like that view though. So with that being said, credit, very forgiving. Make sure you check out annualcreditreport.com. annualcreditreport.com. I'm going to drop it in the comments real quick. For those of you, this is the official website that provides you free access to your credit report. Okay, so it's annualcreditreport.com. Throw it out on here. What is the website? Annualcreditreport.com. It's none of that other stuff out there. It's none of creditreport.com, free credit. It's not that. Those are not the official free websites that gives you an annual access to your credit report from all three credit bureaus. Which bureaus are those? What are the three credit bureaus? Let me hear you say it. Which one? Okay, so you should be saying Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Those are the three that matter right now. They have been talking about finding new ways to compile a credit score. I believe there's like called the Vantage score and all these other things. If you've been using Credit Karma, that's cool, but that's not necessarily what your lender, that is not at all what your lender is looking at. They are looking at the three credit bureaus, and they generate their credit score for mortgage applications or mortgage consideration. Okay, so if you're using all that other stuff that they have out there because especially with the bank, so depending on which bank you're with, it is so funny that credit has now become that more accessible now when I think about it. Experian, who has the Experian app? I do. I've got the Experian app. So there's the Experian app. There's TransUnion's got their free stuff. I mean, they have relationships with the banks now, so they're partnering that if you have an account with them, you also can have access to checking your credit report for free. I think that's good. I think that was a good move because people are constantly being scammed. Okay, so that's that. Let me see. I'm just trying to knock out real quick before we jump into it. And I'm going to keep today's show short, sweet. There were other things I decided I wanted to talk about. Like there's this case happening here in California with this woman recording mechanics liens on all these Beverly Hills properties. Not funny, but it's you kind of question her mental condition. But anyway, we're going to talk about that next week because she was just arraigned on March 2nd. She was arrested February 28th, March 2nd. That'll give us a peek into revisiting more about liens. I've done show topics I'm on episode 263 more. So again, over 200 plus episodes on real estate content. I've covered most of it, and there's still more to cover because this industry changes all the time. And we're seeing the effects of a lot of those changes now. So I look forward to talking about that with you all next week about what this woman has done, and now she's facing up to 24 years if she's found if she's found guilty for her actions. We'll talk more about that next week. That's some good stuff. But before I jump into this, so I'm done here with your real estate goals. Savings. Create a savings plan, save little by little. It doesn't have to be big chunks. But again, we're talking about if you're doing investing or purchasing, it's a 3-year thing. Why do I say 3 years thing? Is because your lender, if you're financing, unless you've got, you come into some inheritance, you win the lottery, whatnot, and you purchase cash, which is great. Most people are financing. And so your lender wants to look at your tax returns for the last 3 years. You can do some other products, and we'll get into that. I'll bring out a lender partner to talk about different ways to get pre-approved and whatnot. As you all know, I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm not a licensed professional, so I'm referring and deferring that conversation, but I do know enough in terms of what they're looking for. So when you're thinking and considering purchasing, again, you want to do this as a 3-year window. I find it very interesting and ambitious when people come to me and they're like, hey, I want to buy. And they're just ready because they're like, I'm going to figure it out. Hey, I'm cool with that too. And we will figure it out. Sometimes it is you're not knowing all what needs to happen is what gives you the courage, because if there is too much, you get into analysis paralysis where you feel like I'm going to wait until I'm ready. And sometimes that just never happens, right? It's never going to be perfect. You're not going to have the exact amount. All these other things, right? So that's all I have to say about that. Okay. What cool. Let's see. What else? I'm doing really good. So I covered that. Real estate goals. Let's do this. Let's come back to the show after a sponsor break and we'll talk about war. What is it good for? You tell me. Is it going to affect my mortgage rates? We'll be right back after this break.
We know how challenging it can be to try and sell a home while also dealing with other financial and legal matters. We're here to help. Devenio Estates is the real estate firm you need to make sure your unique situation is handled as quickly and efficiently as possible. Our team of professionals has a combined experience of over 30 years in real estate, construction, and finance industries. As active professionals in the industry, we know the importance of timelines and pride ourselves in providing superior service without compromising integrity. We use industry software and copyrighted proposals so that our real estate agents submit accurate and complete listing information and buyer offers. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and set Devenio Estates as the go-to real estate firm for excellence in advocacy and superior services for our clients. Contact us today to learn more about our services.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. Welcome back. I'm still messing with these overlays. See what happens when you get too many options? It's kind of this funny thing. What is this? Yeah, see? I'm touching stuff. I'm touching stuff. Oh, look at that. You could even do that. What about this one? Like and subscribe. There's so many things here. Just things have changed so much. So many things changed. That's cool. Anyway, back to the show. So what has happened? So today we're talking about more war and how does it affect mortgage rates? If you've been looking, and or even if you have purchased and you locked in at the higher interest rate, you should be paying close attention right now to what is going to happen with mortgage rates. Why? Because they dipped below 6% last week. Do the numbers, talk to a mortgage professional to see if it makes sense, right? Again, makes sense to where you are versus where rates are. But with the strike, the US-Israeli strikes and the war on Iran, you now see that rates have gone up. And so the question is what's going to happen in terms of the confidence in the US economy? Buying real estate and the bond markets and the stock is a lot of psychological factors going into play here. So we see now investor behavior is coming into play. Now that we're in this, war, this position of war, and it's projected and estimated to be another 4 to 6 weeks, investors are looking for a place to park their money into safe haven assets. And what would that likely be? Bonds. Bonds is what that's going to be. So now we've got a higher demand and pressure on the bond market, which in turn should likely result in lower interest rates, lower mortgage interest rates. And the Federal Reserve has a meeting. They've got a meeting coming up this month, and it's expected they're not going to touch the rate. The feds are not going to touch the rate. They're likely to leave it as it is as we start to see the effects of the geopolitical environment having on the interconnectedness, right? Big words here, big words, interconnectedness with what's happening across seas globally and here. What are we really focusing on in terms of resources, oil, and the natural flow of gas? That's what we're looking at in terms of how the pricing of the barrels are costing, what will it cost, the effect of that, and how that's going to come into play. Do we know the answers? We've got to sit and watch, is why you're starting to see what's going on with the stock market and different things in the market as it relates to rates and money. Is we're going to have to see how this plays out. I kid you not. We are in what year of this show? We started in 2017, so we're approaching 10 years. And in that cycle, I guarantee you that I've already talked about war, the effects of war on mortgage rates. So this is deja vu. No, it's not deja vu. It is the exact thing that I've been sharing with you for now almost approaching a decade. I've been sharing with you real estate is cyclical. These behaviors are cyclical. Yes, we have some anomalies, outliers, that things happen like a pandemic, and then you get these historical low rates thanks to the real estate gods where rates were below 3%. And then now what we're doing is trying to cure the effects. When I talked about the 2025 wrap up, when I did that in December, I said 2025 was a tough year. A tough year is why? Is because the real estate gods, if you will, came back and snatched all that equity that you all gained during the pandemic. You did nothing to get it, and you did nothing to lose it. 2026 first quarter, a little bit better, but we are still seeing some interesting dynamics with submarkets in different parts of the country where inventory is really low, very short, not enough inventory to match the high buyer demand. And in some areas, there's too much property. I was actually looking at, I was reading a report last night, and it was talking about how some states, we're talking about the way people have been moving, Chicago, Texas now having too much inventory because during the pandemic, folks went out there. It was all, green pastures until you realize you still got to mow the lawn over there, right? And now you've got folks now moving or wanting to move. And we still have things that we need to adjust still with economically on the commercial front. No one's been talking. It's been very quiet. Very quiet. No one's been talking about the foreclosures happening in the background. A lot of backdoor deals being done and made to keep the economy afloat, keep the commercial market up and not busting, right? Keeping it from going bust with all the balloons that are coming up due. Not enough resources or funds to refi out of those loans. So what's happening? You see it. I see it. Your communities look like ghost towns. You see lots of commercial storefronts, shopping centers for lease, for sale, disappearing. This is twofold. You've got the effect of what Amazon, what we've all done, we've signed on, and we now bought into Amazon, and we've affected the local stores, your local pharmacy stores, your local marts, your local, shops. You're shopping online, it's super convenient, but at the same time, they've got all that space. They've got all that storage and not enough of us going to shop at and support their businesses. We are at an interesting time and a historic time. It's exciting, depending on what side you want, or it could be devastating if you are one of the store owners, or business owners that you're leasing the storefront, or you're owning the storefront. You're looking to get out of those commercial leases. You're looking to try to save face. So a lot of folks. I recall one of the big ones last year was Big Lots. Big Lots went bankrupt, filed bankruptcy. Another company came in and bought them out. So it's not all Big Lots end up closing down, but they've closed a significant amount of stores across the United States. And we still and here continue to see big box names, right? Big brand names closing down, shutting up shop on their storefronts, because that's just not the way we've been doing things anymore. So we've got some reevaluating to do in terms of our role in the economy and the world that we're creating, because of the way we shop, our consumerist behaviors has affected the commercial market. Those commercial markets eventually are still connected to the residential markets, and we will see how this plays out. I'd love to hear your feedback and let me know what you think, and let me know if you think this is an opportune time to start shopping for a new home loan or thinking about refinancing based on what I share, right? So war tends to be good depending on what side of the pendulum you are on. Again, keep your business hat on, be vigilant out there, and I'll see you next week on another information packed episode right here on your favorite real estate podcast. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Ready Set Real Estate Podcast with Lisa